Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Advanced Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the Aerial Assault Drone, which I personally think is the best kill streak in Advanced Warfare. Going to be showing a lot of gameplay of it and some good old testing examples. Got hard numbers for you too, not just advice. But like I was saying earlier, I think the Aerial Assault Drone is the best kill streak in the entire game. Obviously, it's not as strong as a Paladin or as useful or like utility-wise as a few other things, but this has by far the best risk-reward ratio of anything that's not a support streak. For how easy it is to get, it by far deals the most amount of damage and pain and suffering to the other team, right up there. I think the system hack is almost as good, but not quite. Let's talk about the defensive stats of this item first before we move into the offensive stats. It has 250 health normally. That is 2.5 times normal health, or if you're shooting at it with a fairly high damage weapon, a lot of the high damage weapons deal 25 damage at long range. That's still 10 shots to kill. Armored, it's 325, so that could be up to 15, 16 shots to kill if you're using a submachine gun, something like that, which can be very frustrating, mostly because it is absurdly small, fast moving, and has a tiny hitbox. It is very, very hard to kill. This is gameplay of me trying to kill one with the BAL, and I know my aim isn't perfect, but you get no auto aim on this thing, no sticky aim, no tracking, super tiny hitbox, super hard to kill. I'm sure that most of you that have played this game have had the experience of trying to shoot one of these things down and finding almost none of your bullets hitting. Probably its best defensive attribute is just that it's very hard to hit. You can take them down very easily with EMP grenades if you have to. In a pinch, you have to airburst them, or with any sort of airborne rocket launcher lock-on, but not many people run those in Advanced Warfare. Not a lot of kill streaks in this game, so I don't see a whole lot of rocket launcher guys. So typically, once you get one of these, you can just run the train and keep it up in the air the whole time. I would advise moving it around though. Obviously, if you stay still and hover, you're going to be pretty easy to hit, but as long as you keep it moving, going to be very, very easy to dodge everyone's bullets. It's got a couple of different options. The first one is just the base assault drone, which is actually kind of boring and weird. You don't really do much with it. It doesn't shoot anything or do anything. You just kind of hover around, and whenever you feel like it, you can hit right trigger and just kind of body slam people. It's like a suicide drone. It's really not that useful. For 50 more points, you can upgrade it with an air HUD, which I think is absolutely 100% useful. Being able to put the little red hexagons around people makes it much easier to distinguish good and bad guys. I pretty much always run it that way, and I'd highly recommend that you do it too. Again, it's not very useful for the standard base suicide kind of attachment, but for the other two, which we're just about to talk about, it's going to be much, much more useful. The machine gun damage is an unusual one. It'll deal 25 damage up close, 20 at medium range, and 15 at long range, and that's long range according to however you code it in the game. For whatever reason, either I'm reading the stat chart wrong or there's some really strange programming here, the 25 damage range is 254 meters, which is the size of, well, even the biggest map in this game might not be 254 meters, which means that this is effectively always going to be a 4-shot to kill. And don't forget that your machine gun attachment has 2 machine guns, so you're shooting 2 sets of bullets from each side, so you can get 2 cycles and 4 total shots and kill like that. Pretty much expect a 4-shot to kill, though like all of the other kill streaks and like the sniper drone and everything, you don't have any auto aim on it, which can be kind of frustrating. You'll miss a lot of shots that you typically would have gotten with an assault rifle. It fires at 600 RPM, which is basically like the SAC-3 Akimbos or kind of like the XMG, something like that. It's a little bit low, but do keep in mind you have 2 guns firing, so the effective rate's about 1200 RPM. The really good thing about the machine gun is that it doesn't overheat or run out of ammo. You can just hold down the trigger and continue to hose people for the entire duration, and that's what makes it useful. Personally, though, I prefer the rockets. I feel like the rockets are a very strong way to go with this one, and by far more common. The explosive damage on the rockets is 200. It's 200 flat at kind of any radius or range, and the lethal radius, which is the entire radius in this case, is 4.2 meters. That's pretty solid. That's basically about like a grenade. You're not going to get rocket hit markers as far as I'm aware. You shouldn't be able to unless somebody is running both the stem and flak jacket. You might, but again, that's pretty rare. You should pretty much kill every single time you hit somebody with one of these rockets. Very, very dangerous. Unfortunately, you can only hold 3 rockets at a time. You shoot 1, 2, 3, and then you have a somewhat slow reload. I think this is to prevent it from being completely broken or overpowered or from spamming, so do time them well, and they do have a tendency to curve and arc and do weird things at long ranges, so watch out for that. You got to be somewhat medium to close to make these rockets beeline lasers like they need to be. As for what I think is the best way to run this one, I run just the assault drone, the airborne HUD, so I get little red hexagons over the enemy so I know who to shoot, and rockets. And I feel like that makes it pure death. Death from above, an excellent kill streak, competes with the Warbird, very, very strong. Best risk-reward ratio. In a game mode like Domination or Hardpoint, this is very, very easy to get, and you get 25 points per kill, so with a little bit of patience, you can actually run the train on people and earn multiples. Very easy, very dangerous, and if you haven't done this, which a lot of you haven't because I know there's not a lot of assault streaks going around in Advanced Warfare, I would highly recommend it. Break out your assault drone, put some rockets and a HUD on it, and give it a go, and I think you'll find a kill streak that you like. Guys, that's all for this in-depth episode. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode was on the Pytake Loophole, very fun gun there, and the next episode is going to be on the Warbird. Drifter out.